Hi friends, this is Krish the Urban Naxal, and today I am going to talk about a very strange, very peculiar kind of a real estate project in Thane near Balkum, located in a village called Dhokali. The name of this project is The Icon, and it is being marketed rather by this company belonging to China, to Hong Kong. The name of this company, the brand name under which they are proceeding is RISLAND India. RISLAND India claims to be in India to unveil a different kind of construction technology. They are saying SSGF technology in India, which they want to introduce to India through this icon in Thane. They are saying the icon is using safe, sustainable, green and fast SSGF construction technology, which is introduced for the first time in India. It is a German construction technique, which is a combination of 12 construction technologies. This technique ensures speedy construction, which is 2 times faster and stronger than the average construction speed. This is what they are saying at the website of rislandindia.com. Now, I'm going to tell you the peculiarities, the strangeness in this project, and the reasons why I think a real estate buyer in India should be very cautious while approaching this project. The RISLAND India has 3 projects. One, and these are mentioned on its website. So one of them is in Delhi, one of them is in Chennai, and one of them is here in Thane. Now I am going to talk only about the Thane project called The Icon. So The Icon is a project divided into 5 phases. The first phase is almost ready for completion, for handover it seems. They have these 2 towers called Madison 1 and Madison 2 in phase 1, which they say will be ready in June 2022. So that is 1 month from now, or less than 1 month from now. However, the other 5 phases, Icon phase 2, 3, 4, 5, and all their towers, also called Madison 3 and so on, will be ready only at end of 2026, 31st December 2026. Therefore, you can expect it in 2027. The name of the company which is constructing, which is the promoter of this project, is Leading Frontier Private Limited. Leading Frontier Private Limited has 3 Chinese directors and 1 Indian director. So if we Google for Leading Frontier Leading Frontier, we come to this declaration on Registrar of Companies, ROC, Mumbai, where you see that their address is the same address where they are constructing. So they do not have a different address. Leading Frontier Private Limited, whose directors are Li, ZHENGXING, PENG and DARSHAN MARU. So these are the 4 directors, 3 of these guys are Chinese, and they say that their address is The Icon, plot number 61 2A, opposite RISLAND Residency Circle, Dhokali Village, and so on. The Icon. Now, if The Icon phase 1 is yet to be constructed, then what is this The Icon address that they are giving as the address of their company? So this is one strange feature. Another strange feature is they are engaging a Chinese company as a contractor. Now the name of this Chinese contractor is mentioned on RERA, and it is only mentioned in phase 1. It is not mentioned in phase 2, 3, 4, 5. And in RERA on phase 1, the name of this Chinese contractor is China Construction Sausum SAUSAM India Private Limited. Now if you look at their address, okay, first of all let me tell you about China Construction Sausum Private Limited. Again, they've got 3 Chinese and 1 Indian. So Shengliang Shao, Fan Liu, LINXING Weng, and 1 Indian called GORACHAND MANDAL. So 1 Indian director, 3 Chinese directors. Their address also is very peculiar. 701 The Capital, Level 7, Bandra Kurla Complex, Bandra. Now why is this peculiar? Because if you look up this address on ROC, you will find that there are many other companies which are also listed on the same address. Brocade Mobility Private Limited, Trimtab Innovation Private Limited, Ericsson Support Services Private Limited, and so on, all same address. And they are not group companies. If you just check out their their email address, their official email address, and their names of their directors, etc., you realize they are not group companies. So this is typically what one would call an envelope address or a correspondence address, or a very unkind word used for these kind of companies which have a address and yet the address is only a correspondence address, is Daba company or Table Kursi company. So you have this Table Kursi company, this table and chair company, which is the contractor of the Icon phase 1. Now that is very disturbing, that is very worrying. So you got litigation. The main promoter's address is the same company, the same location where it is supposed to be building, and that first phase is not ready and it's supposed to be handed over. Again, will it be handed over is a question. I don't know. We will have to wait and see. I will await feedback from the people who are purchasers in this. Almost all the inventory in the Icon phase 1 has been sold, barring maybe 3-4 flats. Almost all the inventory in phase 3, 4, 5 is unsold. The Icon phase 2 is 50-50, part of it is sold, part of it is unsold. Now, will the Icon phase 1, will Madison Tower 1 and 2 be handed over in June 2022? I don't know. If it happens, when it happens, I will ask people to tell me, and if they say that it is very good and we have a very happy review to give, I'll be happy to hear that, and I'll be happy to publish a very positive review. But as it currently stands, it's looking very dicey. More than half a dozen litigations. Okay, and there is another area of concern. Now this is a lot of ambiguity, and I'm going to point this out. As far as the permissions are concerned, all the permissions have been taken by the Indian joint venture partners of the company, of the Chinese company. Now the company, okay, RISLAND has an Indian company called Leading Frontier Private Limited, and Leading Frontier Private Limited is the promoter as far as RERA is concerned. RERA says Leading Frontier Private Limited is the promoter. Now does it mean that the landowning companies, which is Siddhi Developer and Siddhi's subsidiary called Gowani Hotels, are they the landowners and they have given development rights to Leading Frontier Private Limited? No, that is not the case, because all the building permissions are in the name of Siddhi and Gowani, that is the Indian companies. All the building permissions. If you look at the plans, approved plans, IODs and CCs and all those things, you will only find Gowani and Siddhi Developers. You will not find any trace of Leading Frontier Private Limited. Whom are you going to hold responsible if you don't get possession? That is my question. If you have to go to court, if you have to go to RERA, because you did not get possession as promised. Are you going to be suing Leading Frontier Private Limited, which consists of 3 Chinese and they are not Indian nationals? Are you going to be suing the Indian companies which claim to be the landowners and the co-promoters, not the promoters, but all the permissions, all the building permissions are in their name? The litigants in those litigations are not, I'm pretty sure none of them is RISLAND, none of them is Leading Frontier Private Limited. So the Chinese are not either litigants or litigated against. So who's going to be answerable to you? Who is going to be answerable to the courts? Is a very big question. Construction, building contracting is also a very high risk, high liability kind of a business. The main people in that company, China Construction Company, China Construction Sosam India, are all Chinese. There's only one Indian to take the rap. Everyone else is Chinese. So again, who are you going to hold responsible? How are you going to hold them responsible is a question I'm asking. So there's a lot of ambiguity here. In short, this is a project where you should be careful. Indian buyers should be extremely careful because there appears to be a lot of corporate innovation. There's a lot of corporate innovation going on here. A lot of entering into grey areas. We don't know where all these companies stand in terms of their liability, in terms of their responsibility, their answerability, how you're going to enforce all the contractual obligations that they're taking up. I wish all the buyers of this project, the Icon, all the best. I hope their flats are delivered to them as promised. I hope all goes well with them. But for those who have not entered into this particular project, I am going to advise extreme caution. Please watch, please wait, please do not rush in without understanding how they intend to implement this project. I am your friend, Krish the Urban Naxal. Jai Maharashtra, Jai Hind, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan.